Struggles of life are inevitably going to come. It's not if, it's when. So when it happens, at least make it fucking worth it. Because if it's not worth it, then you're wasting your time. You're wasting, like I said, you have one life, man. You have one life, you have limited human time. And if you're expending that limited human time that you have on something that you truly do not give a shit about, you lost. You lost in life. And you will continue to lose until you decide to change that. And until you decide to break that habit, until you decide to break that cycle, you're just going to be living like everybody else. And like I said, observe everybody else. Are they the most happy that they could ever be? Are they the most fulfilled that they could ever be? Do they have the life that you want? And the answers for most of those is no. That's just what it is. That's just me being real. Most of it's no. Most of those questions that I asked, the answer is no. You must figure out you must figure it out or you will live a life that will feel less and less like yours. That's what it comes down to, man. See, the reason why I've made the decisions in my life that I have made that have led me to this podcast that I'm doing right now is all because I've asked myself the questions that I needed to ask myself. The questions that I believe that everybody should ask themselves to get the most out of life that they possibly can live, right? The refusal to ask questions and the to be seeking out comfort and only convenience and only practicality. Like I said, that's good for the average people. But this podcast is not meant for the average person. That's what it comes down to, man. The problem is that people think that they do have a lot of time. You don't, man. When you break it down, man, you don't have that much time. You don't have that much time. You must act with urgency. There's not enough people that are acting with urgency. You could die tomorrow. If you spent your entire day doing something, working for somebody else, pursuing somebody's dream that isn't yours, that you could give a shit less about, then you wasted your life. See, let's just say for example, right after this podcast, let's just say like God forbid I die, right? But at least I died doing shit that I actually gave a fuck about. You see what I'm saying? I lived a fulfilled life. I lived a life that I was not only happy, but more importantly fulfilled because I was putting in work for myself. See what I'm saying? See, not a lot of people could say that if they died today, if they died within this moment, that their life was actually worth it. That day was actually worth it. Do you see what I'm saying? So if your life decisions don't exactly, like I said, if they're already pre-constructed for you, you wake up, you get ready for your day, you go to work, you come home, and then when you have your free time, you use it fucking around, doing mindless activities that doesn't contribute to the life that you want to live, right? That aren't asking yourself what games that you want to go ahead and play or what games are actually worth playing. The second that you, like this is for most people, right? The second that they actually get some time to themselves, they don't use it wisely. You spend 8 hours working for somebody else. You come home just to fuck around, just to wake up tomorrow morning and do the same shit again. How the fuck are you ever going to expect to make progress like that? You're not. You're never gonna make progress like that. So that's what I'm saying, man. You need to figure these things out, man. Because if you don't have them figured out, you're fucked. You're fucked. And if you never take the time to ask yourself the questions that are the most important questions that you must ask yourself within this life, good luck, man. That's all I have to say. But remember, they're missing the pod and another resource to first make them aware and they create the urgency needed to actually choose their life. You're exactly right, man. You're exactly right, man. Like I said, that's why I'm out here putting in the work, man. He's on point, man. He's on point with that one, man. But yeah, ask yourself this question, right? If you decide to neglect that, if you decide to neglect asking yourself these questions, just observe it. Just observe it from afar. What is that life going to look like? How is it going to play out? Because quite frankly, it's predictable. You can't say it's not predictable. Of course, and here's the thing. It's predictable in the worst ways. In the worst ways possible. Because here's the thing. Not only is it already pre-constructed, But life's already going to come at you with things that are going to make life even harder. You see what I'm saying? You must be ready for those hard times. And like I said, the only thing that makes those times worth it is if you're living the life that you want to live, right? And you might say, "Oh, I'm living the life I want to live," but you're not building anything. You're not doing anything. You're literally not doing anything. You might like I said, you might be working for somebody, but if you're not working for yourself, if you're not pursuing something that is gonna make yourself better, you're wasting your time. And like I said, we do need those people in this society, but we also need much more people who are wanting to take more risk, who are wanting more out of life because they understand that there's other people in life that have the things that you want. Why can't you have those things for yourself? Why can't you make the same decisions that they made that led them to the same result that you want? You see what I'm saying, man? You see what I'm saying? And like I said, man, when you observe that potential life that you could be living from afar, that pre-constructed path for you is is that essentially that essentially is society's best interest, right? Or society that's what society wants you to do. But like I had asked you in the beginning of this podcast, does society truly have the best interest in mind for you? And of course, that answer is always going to be no. Always going to be no. So like I said, man, whose game are you playing, man? Are you playing your own game or are you playing somebody else's game? Are you living your dream or are you living somebody else's dream? If you, are you taking steps every single day that are going to contribute to the life that you want to live, or are you just living somebody else's dream? Or are you just taking steps necessary in order to be comfortable, in order to be satisfactory with your day when in reality you really shouldn't be satisfied with your day because you didn't do anything for yourself outside of working. And what people fail to realize is working, whether you're working for yourself or working for somebody else, that's the bare minimum. You should not be proud of that. Like I said, unless you're working for yourself, of course. But realistically, that's still the bare minimum. You need to be striving for more than just that. Because like I said, if you're not, then your life's already drawn up. Then there's the only unpredictability that does exist within that life is just badness. It's just yeah, it's just badness. That's what it is. If you do not make decisions for your life, society and people will make them for you. And like I had mentioned before, that life is an easy life. But is that the life that you'd want? Is that the life that you'd want to live if you only had one life? Society has a funnel for everyone to go, and the ones who defy that, you must observe their behaviors. You must observe the actions that they've taken. You must observe the questions that they've asked themselves that voided them from taking the path of society's funnel. And obviously you analyze them, right? They lack the knowledge, they lack the clarity on what they want to do. And like I said, that's going to exactly lead you down society's funnel, where dreams go to die. Most people that you will see on a day-to-day basis, they're not living. They're living like a shell of themselves. They have no passion. They're not pursuing anything of meaning. Yeah, they're like I said, they're basically on autopilot, man. They're literally zombies, man. I see this within my day-to-day life all the time. Where I'm looking at somebody and it looks like they've wasted their life. I can see it within your face that it looks like you've wasted your life. It looks like you wake up every single day doing something that you don't want to do for a paycheck, and that's it. You go home, you fuck around, you never try to plan yourself out, you never try to make a plan for yourself. So therefore you're stuck in the same position. And then you're pissed off. You're pissed off when things happen that are inconvenient to your life, or maybe you get pissed off at what's going on at work, but you didn't do anything to change that. You never corrected course. You settled for that. And that's the life that you chose. No, that's not even the life that you chose. That's the life that society chose for you. Do you want society to choose for you, or do you want to choose for yourself? Are you man enough to choose for yourself? Or are you okay with just going with the flow and letting society say, "Oh yeah, this sounds like a good path for you. Go ahead. Go ahead and be a worker for the next 60 years, or the next 40 years, or the next 50 years. Do you want to live that life? Do you want to live that life? Ask yourself the question. Like I said, in the land of opportunity, in the land of unlimited opportunity with the internet, and you're still taking a path that you could have made 30 years ago without the internet. You see what I'm saying? Take a different path. There's so many possibilities. There's so many opportunities that are out there. They're not being seized upon. There's people that are less smarter than you who have figured something out that you haven't figured out, who have asked them, who somehow, some way was able to ask themselves the questions that you have yet to ask yourself. Of course, there are some careers that can give a person a fulfilling life. Of course, yeah, Jaden. Let me go ahead and go on that, right? But that is true. Her point is true. There is some careers that do exist. Maybe if you're a doctor or something like that, or actually, like I said, changing people's lives. If you can somehow do that within your life, within the career that you've chosen, then maybe you're living a good life. If that's what you truly want to do. If you wake up excited to go to work, to go put in the next 10 hours, that's fine. Like I said, we need those people. We still need those people, man. We still need those people. But for the 98% of people who go to their job and hate it every single moment and wish they did something different and wish they could have taken a different path and wish they could be doing a different job, maybe doing something that they actually want to do you want to be like that person? There's so many of those people. Like I said, I see them on a day-to-day basis all the time, man, all the time. And the difference between me and them is I've actually created a path for myself. I've created my own funnel for myself. I've created my own path. I wake up and I work on the things that I give a fuck before I go and work for somebody else. That's the difference. If you're not putting in work for yourself, then who are you putting it in for? Do you care about that person? But yet your actions would suggest that you do care about that person because you're spending most of your day, a third of your day, dedicated to them, to pursuing their dreams, to pursuing the path that they want to go ahead and pursue. But yet you're not building anything. You're not doing anything of meaning. And the last thing I want anyone to do is to live a meaningless life. That's the last thing. That's the last thing I want. And I believe that more than ever we could be living more meaningful lives. But that's only if you take some action. Because if you never take any action, then your life's going to look like you've never took any action.